Hello, my beautiful, beautiful queens. Welcome back to this week's episode of your Manifesting Bestie podcast. I'm your host, Flora, and we are diving into all things mindset and manifestation, sprinkled in with a little bit of that beautiful, divine, feminine energy to help the collective during this entire global rising and elevated consciousness that women are experiencing and honoring and holding space for. So lately, I've been getting more into energy work rather than just subconscious work, which I find is going to help me elevate and balance my life even more. And the more that I get into this work and learn about it and see and feel the shift and the benefit of it, I of course want to pass this information along to my beautiful listeners so you too can begin incorporating this into your daily practices, into your daily life, and see the difference in how you feel and how you show up for the world. So today I wanted to talk about inviting prosperity into your home energetically, into your environment, into your safe space where you feel like you can be yourself. The more that I look into energy work and understanding the concepts behind it, the more that I realize every single thing that surrounds us holds energy. So everything holds a certain frequency, whether it is an inanimate object, whether it's a living thing, everything holds energy. So everything has almost like a level of consciousness to it, whether we admit to it, whether we understand it, whether we value that and respect it or not. So everything from your mailbox to your shoes, to your broom, to your kitchen appliances, to the objects in your bathroom and in your cabinets, everything holds a certain frequency. And since we are souls having a physical human experience, I'm realizing that everything outside of us in our environment can have an impact on us as well energetically. Some people say that we are products of our environment, which I totally agree to an extent. The only thing I don't agree with is using that as kind of like an excuse or a cover up as to why we don't want to change our behaviors. But yes, our environment does shape us, and it can shape us for the better and it can also shape us for the worse. So when I think about inviting prosperity into my home and into my living environment, into my living space, I realized that a lot of things that our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers taught us wasn't just about cleanliness. They were all spiritual practices. Even if they weren't necessarily aware of them, it was passed down to them from somebody who understood that everything holds energy. So everything is energetic, everything is spiritual, everything is having an impact or an effect on us vibrationally. And you know what I really love about women is that women can multiply and expand every single thing that is in proximity to her. This is why they say that a woman makes a house a home. Because when a man buys a house, he always needs someone there to make it a home. That's like the saying or the phrase that we've always been taught is the woman makes a house a home. There's something about her energy that multiplies every resource she is given. Like if you bring money to a woman, she gives you all these different ideas on how to invest it. When you bring food to a woman, she can cook you a beautiful 5-star meal. When you put a woman into a house that you purchase, she turns it into a beautiful, inviting, vibrant home. A woman can turn a dead garden into a thriving jungle. So the woman multiplies every single thing in proximity to her because she is the nurturer, she's the alchemist, she's the amplifier behind everything. She's so powerful. God, I just love women. I was actually joking with one of my girlfriends the other day. I'm like, sexuality is definitely a choice because there's no way I would choose to be attracted to men when I see how amazing women are. But here we are. So anyway, I want to give you guys some really cool practices that you can start implementing in your home to invite abundance and prosperity and good luck and good fortune into your life. So everything that surrounds us and is within our energetic field has an impact on our frequency, right? Us as a human being, it impacts us. And sometimes when we look at people, we can see where they come from. We can feel it in their energy. We feel it in their vibe. We see it in their appearance. We can see if they have a peaceful home or if they just came from chaos. And you know, prosperity, money, abundance, blessings, they all kind of look at us in the same way. They can tell if we are inviting abundance into our home energetically, and they can also feel if we are repelling it so they don't want to come near us. And since women normally lead the household, right? Because women are natural born leaders. I don't know where the fuck they came up with the idea that men are natural born leaders when men always need to be told what to do. Women just do it, right? We can see this in adolescent teenagers and young children. The young girls are always the ones that mature quicker. They are far more emotionally advanced, emotionally intelligent, spiritually inclined. They are the ones in the classroom leading all of the group projects and presentations. So women are always the leaders. It is such horse shit that men are natural born leaders. It is biologically going against what God intended for us. So I know all my ladies are normally in charge of the home, the cleanliness, the energy, the vibes, the feeling of the home. I want you guys to have the right knowledge to curate an abundant living space for you and your family. By the way, another thing that they used to call women witches for was cleaning their house, because again, women are spiritually inclined to men. So women have this innate spiritual knowledge that sweeping the home, cleaning the floors, and all these different things were a spiritual cleansing practice to ensure only good energy enters their life. And then the men called them witches for it. Just throwing that out there. Just another thing to add into the box of what men do. Because they are so threatened by the feminine energy, by the feminine power, just because of their spiritual divine knowledge. So anyway, let's get into these tips and tricks. You guys can write these down. You might already be practicing some of these without knowing the actual like spiritual and energetic meaning behind them and why we do these things. And some of this might be new information that you want to invite and implement into your home on a daily basis to bring you more prosperity, more blessings, and more money, more cash flow into your life. So the first thing that I learned about energetic work is that wealth cannot enter your home or enter your life when you have a cluttered and messy home entrance. So I want you to visualize your home right now. What does the entryway of your home look like and feel like? Do you see that it's clean? There's an open walkway. Do you see that the entryway rug is always cleaned and refreshed? Does it smell nice? Is it bright and light and inviting? Or is there clutter? Is there coats hanging everywhere? Do you have shoes thrown around everywhere out in the open? Some of it is paired up, some of it's not. So I want you to think of the walkway or the entryway of your home. As soon as you open that door, what do you see and what do you feel? In Feng Shui, they say that wealth refuses to enter a messy door. So being aware of the entrance of our energy, which is the entrance of the home, is very, very important. So this space should be, number one, free of clutter. Number two, no racks of clothing should be hung there. That's not the appropriate place to put it. Number three, no shoes. Don't leave the shoes out in the open. You can have like a little shelf or some type of a container for your shoes in the front if that's where you like to keep them. The shoes should not be left out and spread throughout the front entryway of the home. When you walk in through that door, it should feel so inviting, almost like happiness, almost like joy, almost like a state of bliss, like, I'm home. What a breath of fresh air. How good does it feel to walk into this space? That should be the feeling you want to curate in your entryway. This could be done with mirrors. This could be done with very minimal decoration. This could be done with a plant. Make sure it leaves a very open space to walk in. There should not be clutter. Another thing that I learned is to keep your entrance rug clean as much as possible. So if you need to wash that rug, every half of the week or every week, put it in the washer, you absolutely should, because it's holding space. It's holding the energy of everything that has entered that week, that month, or if you haven't washed it in 6 months, for all those 6 months, that entryway is collecting energy. So it's holding a certain frequency and it can create a lot of stagnation. Cleanliness is a very spiritual practice. We want to clean that entryway rug so that there is a healthy flow of abundance, of blessings entering our home. Because again, wealth will not enter through a messy door. Wealth will be repelled if it feels chaotic in your entryway. Another really good tip for inviting abundance into our home is keeping lush plants around the house. You can keep them in your living room or family room. You can keep them in your entryway or in your kitchen. You can keep them in the bedroom, but they really emphasize on lush greenery. So it's not like those pointy sticks. I really like those pointy sticks that you can buy at like Pottery Barn or Hobby Lobby and use them as decoration, but this is saying to keep lush greenery in your home, because the lush greenery represents the abundance of nature, because nature is the core representation of abundance, because everything outside grows in abundance. The trees, the grass, the animals, the insects, the soil, the water, everything is always in excess. There's always an abundance of nature. So when we keep lush greenery in our home, we are inviting that abundant energy into our living space. If you're somebody who likes to bring in lush flowers as well into your home, or always keeping fresh flowers in your kitchen and things like that, that's also a great representation of lush abundance in your home. And if you're one of those crazy plant girls, I love that for you. Like, you are 10 steps ahead of the game. People who keep a lot of living greenery in their home are constantly welcoming in abundance. But again, make sure it's a lush greenery. Like, they really emphasize on this feeling of lushness. So think of like something thick, something abundant, something that grows tall or wide. Not only is it beautiful decor to have greenery in your home, but it creates cash flow energetically. So why not throw it in there, right? They say money doesn't grow on trees, but I beg to differ. I feel like it totally does. Okay, the next tip, this one's really interesting. Keep your toilet bowls cleaned, like physically clean them out every single day. So if you want to create like a closing shift ritual for your home, where before you go to sleep and you're cleaning up the home and organizing things, make sure you take your toilet bowls into consideration, because everything that flows water represents cash. So since the toilet is known to carry bacteria, right? We're using it to release our waste. We should be cleaning it every single day, because where there is a healthy flow of water, a clean flow of water, there is also a healthy flow of money. There's different cultural practices that do this that I read online, and they really emphasize on the toilet. I'm like, out of all things, the toilet. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because if we're releasing our waste in there every day and it harvests bacteria, it holds energy, it holds space for these things, we really should be cleaning it out. So, get the little brush, get the toilet bowl cleaner gel thing that you like spread in there, and like scuff it out, clean it out, flush it. Apparently, this increases your ability to receive, and this will keep a very healthy cash flow in your life. And speaking of water, we want to take this even one step further. So water in your home represents money. It's really important to keep your faucets and your pipes clean. So if there's a way that you can clean out your drains, your faucets, you should be doing that regularly, let's say every month, and be very mindful of leaks of water in your home. If there's any type of leakage, any type of plumbing issue, this represents leakage of money. So if there's any type of leak, even if it's like a tiny drip, maybe behind your toilet or underneath your kitchen sink or inside one of the bathrooms, or maybe at the top of your shower head, you notice a little bit of a leak. Or even if it's your hose, right, that's outside, you notice that when you turn the water on the hose, there's a leak happening. I want you to fix these leaks, because the water in your home represents cash. Think of currency, think of liquid assets, think of cash flow. It all uses the terminology of water. So we want to make sure we repair any type of leaks in our home. We don't want to be leaking energy. We certainly don't want to be leaking money. All of these things represent us energetically. So be mindful of your pipes, your faucets, make sure everything is kept clean and everything is always being repaired. We're not leaving leaks just running and, oh yeah, I'll call a plumber next week, or I'll have my husband look at it and then he freaking forgets. Like, let's really stay on top of these things, because the last thing we want is our money leaking, our money running away from us. No, we need the money to stay. We need the money to be welcomed and feeling good and feeling like it has space. But if there's leaks, we don't want to feel like we're repelling money that we are working for, that we are earning, right? So toilet bowls, pipes, faucets are really important things to take care of and maintain. Okay, the next tip that I read, which I feel like this is something a lot of people are already doing without even thinking about it, but anywhere that you have windows, you want to keep them open during the day to let sunlight into your home. So whatever windows you have, you want to make sure you are optimizing natural light in your home, allowing the sunshine to flow in. If you guys have any pets at home, like cats or dogs, you'll notice, especially if you don't have a backyard that they go out into constantly, that they're gonna find those corners and those nooks in your home where sunlight is coming in, and they're gonna sunbathe right there because they welcome in that warm, that positive energy of the sunlight. Now at nighttime, it's important to close the windows. So if you have blinds, if you have curtains, you want to close all those windows and protect your space at nighttime when it's dark out. And obviously that's just a smart safety practice, but apparently there's energetic and spiritual meanings to this as well. So allow the sunlight to come in at daytime, and when it's nighttime, shut your windows, close the curtains, close the blinds up. Another tip that I find is really common, but we don't really know the spiritual or energetic meaning behind it, is to take off your shoes when you enter the home. So don't walk into your house with outdoor shoes on. You want to have indoor shoes. And the reason that they say that this is really important, because when you are outside walking around places, walking on cement, walking on the ground, walking into different buildings, your shoes are going to hold that energy of wherever you were stomping your feet around. If you carry that energy into your home, you're not really sure what you're inviting in. So it's a really good spiritual practice to take your shoes off as soon as you enter the house. And if you want to wear shoes in the house, to make sure you have indoor shoes, indoor sandals, indoor slippers, whatever is more convenient for you, or just wear socks around the house so that your feet don't get cold. But you don't want to bring in and walk around with the energy of those external places into your home that's supposed to feel safe, calming, and grounding with your outdoor shoes on. Because again, everything holds energy. So if we understand that everything from a rock to a sidewalk to a plant to dirt to garbage, a car, all these things hold energy. So we just want to be mindful of what we're bringing into our safe space, what we are bringing into the environment that shapes us all day and all night when we sleep. Okay, this next one is really interesting. It says, make your bed as soon as you get up in the morning. Because if we leave our bed space open energetically, right, we leave our sheets a mess, there is a potential that you can invite something unwanted into your bed, which can disrupt you while you are sleeping. So this is a good practice for the soul, a good spiritual practice to make your bed every single morning and close off the space energetically so that nothing gets invited into your bed while you are out and about. That way, when you go to sleep at night, you feel safe, grounded, calm, and protected. And obviously, it's a good aesthetic practice to make your bed as soon as you wake up in the morning, but sometimes we forget and we're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, I'll be home later. Well, apparently there is a spiritual meaning to making your bed as well, since again, everything holds energy, everything has a frequency, so please make your bed as soon as you wake up in the morning. Okay, this next one is really good, and I feel like this just makes so much sense, but I never thought of it this way, and I have a bad habit of not doing this. So, your wallet and your purse should be maintained and kept clean of everything. So no old receipts, no gum wrappers, no garbage. If you had like a little snack, like a protein bar, and you stuff the wrapper back into your purse, stop doing that, okay? Clean out your purse and especially your wallet of any old stagnant energy. You want to keep it super clean, super organized, because this also represents your wealth, your money, your bank account, right? When we think of a wallet, sometimes when you open up someone's wallet, it's a hot fucking mess. There's old receipts, there's random dollar bills that are not in the right place. Maybe you open up a wallet and like change falls right out. You can't find your credit card. Please organize your wallet and your purse to maintain good financial hygiene in your life. Because what I'm reading is that the wallet and the purse, which is normally where we throw our money, also represents our bank account and the health of our bank account. So it makes sense to energetically keep these spaces very clean, very organized, no garbage, no junk. If you have an old lip gloss in there you haven't used in a year, throw it out, okay? Get it out of your purse. If you have old gum in there, throw it out. If you have some candy or some wrappers or old hand sanitizer that's all sticky and dirty, throw it out, okay? Get rid of it. It's holding on to energy that just should not be in that space. Okay, this next one is so interesting. Remember how we were talking about the importance of the entryway of the house? There are some practices and some cultures that use salt in their spiritual practices and to invite good fortune and prosperity into their home. So I want to talk about the entryway in correlation to salt. So salt is in every culture, every household holds salt. I actually have this like open container of pink Himalayan salt in my kitchen. It's not a container, I'm sorry. It's this marble dish that we keep the salt in and we leave it open. There's something that I love about an open salt container or a bowl that holds salt. And apparently there's, again, spiritual meaning behind this. So let's talk about it. So you can find this information in pretty much any culture if you like dig into it. Salt is an energetic purifier. So it's really good to keep salt in your home, whether it's pink Himalayan salt or just regular white table salt. It's important to keep it in your kitchen, and you can even put it into different areas. So one of the areas they say to put salt is in your front door. So some practices sprinkle salt in the entryway of their front door. Some people put it on the outside of their front door. Wherever you come up on the walkway to your front door on the outside, they sprinkle a small line of salt to purify the entryway, purify whatever comes in, and make it a clean space to welcome wealth and prosperity into their homes. Some people keep a salt bowl at the very front of their house, like maybe in the front of their walkway before you come in, or right underneath their doorbell. They'll keep a little bowl of salt. So what I read about salt being an energetic purifier is that it creates a protective barrier of unwanted energy. That unwanted energy could be lack, It could be the energy of misfortune. It could be the energy of loss. So anytime you want to protect your home, you can use salt as that barrier because it holds a very powerful energetic frequency. And you want to do this with intention. I don't want you to just take your salt and sprinkle it in the front of your house and then like walk away. You want to do it with intention. I'm creating a protective barrier that only allows pure energy into my home. Like set the intention when you're doing these practices. Don't do it mindlessly. Intention is everything. We have a whole podcast episode about the power of intention. This is the reason why people have salt lamps in their home. You know those big pink Himalayan salt lamps? They use this actually as an energetic purifier in their home to welcome prosperity, abundance, and ward off anything they don't want in their home. And it makes complete sense. In the last house I lived in my bedroom, I kept a pink Himalayan salt lamp. I think I got it at TJ Maxx or like one of those discount stores. They had them all the time in their home goods section. So if you want to get one, they're super inexpensive. You can also order them on Amazon. But there's like this feeling of groundedness to them when you keep it in your room. So I think that's a really good place to put it as well. And I also read online, which I thought that this was so interesting, is to put a bowl of salt either in a glass bowl or a marble bowl or a stone bowl. Put salt in the southeast corner of your home or of your office to call in more money. I don't exactly know the significance of the southeast corner or what that implies, but I read it on multiple websites and I kind of did my little digging on YouTube on this, and a lot of people recommend the southeast corner. So if you're somebody who makes money from home, you have maybe your home office. I'm in my home office right now. Or you just work from home. Maybe you work from home in your living room or in your bedroom or wherever. It's really good to focus on that southeast corner. Apparently, that is the prosperity corner, which I thought was so cool. So you can put a bowl of salt there to welcome in good fortune, good luck, prosperity, more blessings, and more abundance into your life. So some of these things are obviously not aesthetic, they're spiritual. They're energetic. They have a deeper meaning behind them. And I'm like, if we have information to this knowledge, why not use it? Like, there's no harm in trying, right? These are all basic elements that we can implement and reap the benefits and the harvest of later. I read a bunch of other stuff on salt, but it wasn't necessarily about the home. But everything that I looked at about salt is so positive. It's so purifying. It's so beneficial. Salt your food as much as you want. The whole thing about sodium being bad for you isn't necessarily true. So it's not just a flavor enhancer, but it's also an energetic purifier when you eat it, which I really love. But yeah, keeping salt in your home apparently is super beneficial. Okay, moving on from salt, this is also kitchen oriented here. It's really important to declutter and organize your kitchen pantries. The shelves, the cabinets, and the pantry space in your kitchen, this represents the energetic soul of the home, the inside, the internal soul. So think of your soul in your body. Think of it internal. Think of like the space inside of your body, how we want to keep it clean. This is why people go on detoxes, right? This is why it's not recommended to overeat, because then you cannot digest and eliminate your food properly. So in order to make space for wealth and abundance to show up in our home, we want to keep the soul of the home, which are those shelves, those cabinets, those pantry spaces, very organized, very clean. And you don't want to overcrowd and overpack them. How many of us do that? I know I do that. If there's a cabinet, I want to stuff it with a bunch of things just to like put it away. But how many of those things am I actually using? How many of those things actually benefit me? How many of those things do I actually reach for on a daily, weekly, or even a monthly basis? If it's something I don't use, I should get rid of it, because this represents the soul of the home. So we want to keep it energetically clean and open. We want it to be an inviting space, not cluttered, not packed to the brim. If you have like old boxes of pasta that you know you're never gonna use, or old packets of taco seasoning, or just seasonings in general that you never reach for, and they're just like hardening inside of the little containers of seasoning because you never touch it, throw it out. Clean it out. Like, declutter your kitchen space to make more room for new energy to be invited, for new abundance, new blessings, new cash flow, to have a smoother transition into your home. And this brings me to the topic of hoarding. Hoarding is a spiritual issue. If you know of someone who is a hoarder, or maybe you grew up in a home where your parents were hoarders, you know that the clutter is toxic. You know that the piling up of stuff creates disaster in the soul, in the body, and in the mind. mind. People who have a hoarding problem have a deep spiritual issue. They cannot let go. They cannot release. And they are creating internal stagnation, which can impact their health. It impacts their finances. It impacts their relationships. So hoarding is a very poor spiritual practice. It is good to let go of things we no longer use. There is no reason you need to hold on to things you know you're never gonna use again. And this comes from scarcity and lack mindset. And I understand, I grew up in a household that carried a lot of scarcity and lack mindset because pinching pennies was all that we knew. So if we bought something, we better keep it for eternity. We better use it for eternity. I remember still having like VHS tape players, even though I had like 2 other DVD players in my home, just because I felt guilty of throwing it out. Why do I feel guilty? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I remember keeping socks with holes in them, pants with holes in them, panties with holes in them that were ripped in certain areas. That is such a poor spiritual practice. It creates poor spiritual hygiene. To keep things in your home that are cracked, that are broken, that have holes in them, and then wearing them on my body, like I don't know what I was doing, and then I wonder why I had all these financial problems. So get rid of your shit. Get rid of things. Throw them out. Donate them. Do a garage sale. Take it to Goodwill. Take it to Salvation Army. Get rid of shit you don't need. Get rid of things that are just holding space and boggling down the energy of your home, because your home should feel light. Your home should feel airy. Your home should not feel like a clusterfuck of energy, because not only does it impact your health, it impacts your mind, it impacts your energy, but it also impacts your finances. A person who comes from a chaotic house does not have clarity with their finances, with their career, with their success, with their relationships, none of it. There is that show of people who are hoarders, right? I don't know if it was like HGTV or Discovery Channel. I don't know what channel it was on. It was a show about hoarders and their lifestyle. You could tell these people are not just going through mental and spiritual and energetic issues. They were going through illness, like in their body. You can just tell there were things very off about them. So hoarding is a deep spiritual issue, the inability to let go. I am a firm believer of letting things go, throwing them out, donating them, selling them. Get rid of it. If you don't need it, get rid of it. It shouldn't be holding space and cluttering up your beautiful energy in your home. Your home should feel like a sanctuary. Your home should feel grounded and peaceful. Your home should bring you clarity. Your home should be inviting and open. You want to curate a space that feels like comfort when you walk in. And when we practice detachment, we are much better money manifestors. We are so much better at inviting prosperity because we don't have these insane physical attachments to things, thinking if I lose something, I'm in trouble. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy, right? We have to really get comfortable with detachment. The law of detachment is how we get everything. It takes everything off the pedestal and makes everything more free flowing into your life. This is in finances, this is in relationships, this is in health, this is in self-confidence, this is in everything. So another important practice is to keep your walking spaces open and almost empty in a way. So your hallways, your entryways, anywhere where you are walking, maybe it's the staircase in your home, anywhere where you are walking into another area, like the walkways of your home, to try to keep them empty or free of clutter and clean at all times. Again, this creates the energetic flow to speed up in your home when we're not blocking it with big, obscure objects, or we're not blocking it with a mess, or we're not blocking it with clutter. We're allowing energy to move freely in our home. It's going to make it feel more light, more airy, more inviting, more upbeat, more welcoming, more free flowing overall. Also, I should point this out from the last thing that we mentioned is to throw away anything in your home that is broken, cracked, has holes in it, or something that maybe was broken and you tried to repair it yourself, but it's no longer usable or wearable. So anything that has signs of breakage, big cracks, big holes, and it essentially eliminates the ability to use it, its functionality, you need to also release those things from your home, clear it out, get rid of it, make space, welcome in something new. If a vase broke, don't try to fix the vase. Go get a new one. Get rid of the old one and just get a new one, replace it. Get excited about redecorating your home if something is breaking or falling apart. Get excited about these things. I know we're like, oh, the finances. Oh, how am I going to pay for this? Actually, that is when you invite more money in. When you're like, ooh, I can get rid of this and replace it. Ooh, this new energy of something new, something light, something fresh. It renews the space and the energy of your home. Another important practice, and I think this just goes without saying, is regularly deep cleaning your home. When I say deep cleaning, I mean cleaning the floors, cleaning the baseboards, even dusting the walls, cleaning all the fans, getting the dirt and debris off of your ceiling fans, cleaning your balcony, cleaning your windows, your sliding glass doors, cleaning the scuff marks off of your walls, off of your big white doors. If you can practice a deep cleaning on your home once a month or twice a month, ideally, it's really good to refresh the energy of your space. This is not just cleanliness. Cleanliness is very important. It's good for aesthetic reasons. It's good for the appearance of your home. Duh, we want to live in a clean space. But honestly, this is all energetic. This is all spiritual. Every time we do a deep cleaning of our home, we are energetically being reborn. We are refreshing the environment. We're refreshing the space. We're making it new. So we're clearing out stagnation. We're clearing out the old. We're clearing out the unlucky, the misfortune, and we're inviting new energy into our home. Cleaning is a spiritual practice overall. So a deep cleaning in your living space, you can even do it in your office or in your car, anywhere that you spend a lot of time. Think of closets, think of kitchen, think of bathrooms. This is where most of our clutter and mess and dirt is. You want to have a regular practice of emptying it out, clearing it out, renewing it as much as possible, because stagnant energy lives there. And if something is stagnant, it's cutting off the flow, it's cutting off the ability to renew itself, to invite something different into the space. So if you feel like your pockets are always running dry, check your home. If you feel like your bank account is anemic, check your home, check your living space. What type of energy does my home embody? Is it the feeling of abundance, or is it the feeling of confusion, of chaos, of toxicity, of old things, right? Stagnant energy. We don't really want it. This is why people renew their homes, they renew their kitchens, they renew their bathrooms. It's not just aesthetic. They're inviting a brand new energy into their space, into their living ritual. And this is also important for our health. If we live in clutter, if we live in uncleanliness, it does impact your health physically. Not because you're breathing in mold necessarily, but because it has physical implications, boggles down your energetic frequency of your body. There's a reason people want to buy big homes, or when they're looking for a condo, they want to buy the big penthouse. It's not because they need all that space. It's because it creates openness. It creates flow. It creates airiness, right? And when there's space energetically that's open, that space can then be filled with something new. So check your home. You don't need to go buy a big house if you can. You don't need to go buy a big penthouse. Check your home now. Check what you have now and make it airy. Make it open. I'm somebody who cannot function with clutter. It fucks with my mind, it fucks with my energy. I feel like it fucks with my health, and it really destroys my creativity in my business and in my career. So if I'm living in clutter, it spiritually drains me. I feel like I'm leaking out energy just thinking and feeling the clutter. There's spiritual implications of everything around us that holds energy, and these things are important. These things might be something we think is not that important. We overlook it. Right? We overlook the pile of laundry that's been sitting on our bed all week. We overlook that messy chair that we throw all the clothes on. We're like, oh, we might wear it again. We don't need to wash it. We might look at our baseboards or the floors in our home and we see that it's kind of dirty, but it's not dirty enough for me to clean it yet. Let's maintain the spirit of our home. Let's elevate the spirit of our home. Let's elevate the vibrational frequency of the environment we live in, because again, we are the products of our environment. If we come from chaos, we keep manifesting chaos. If we come from confusion, we keep manifesting confusion. So we need to come from clarity. from openness, from abundance, from organization. 2 more things and I swear I'm done with all these tips. The next one is play high vibrational frequency music all around your home. If you have speakers in your home, use music as a way to cleanse your space and invite prosperity into your home. I love high vibrational, high frequency music. I just play them from YouTube. You can find some of these channels on Spotify, on Apple Music, probably on Pandora. Just type in high frequency music. You can put in a certain hertz like 888 or 432 or whichever digits resonate with you. They all have spiritual meanings. You can Google it and play that frequency throughout your home. It changes you on an energetic level and it changes the frequency of your entire home. It changes the spirit, the core of your house. Now there's another practice that I love. When I read this, and I actually have practiced it a few times. I haven't done it every month, but I really want to like get better at implementing this at the beginning of every month. So there's a prosperity practice that some cultures do where they take cinnamon, ground cinnamon in their hand. They step outside of their home and they open the front door and they blow the cinnamon like this into the front door to welcome abundance on the first day of every month. If this is something that you're familiar with, that your culture practices, I would love to hear from you how your culture implements this. I read that a lot of different places, cultural backgrounds, and a lot of different countries do this. And I thought it was so interesting because cinnamon does represent prosperity. I love when people use the elements of the earth to call in more abundance because everything really does hold frequency. So all these things can really boost your income, boost your finances. Why not do it? Why not try it? Why not see how it works for you? And the last tip, which I love, and this is something I like to practice too in my office, in my bathroom, in my bedroom, in my kitchen, is to create a corner of luxury. For some people, this could be candles. For some people, this could be flowers. For some people, this could be burning incense. Any type of creative decor that speaks to what luxury looks like for you. Create a corner of luxury in all of your living spaces. I love having flowers everywhere. I love having candles everywhere. I love having plants everywhere. I love beautiful mirrors, beautiful decorations, like curating these fun, expressive, luxurious moments all throughout my house is really exciting. Have fun with this. This is gonna be something that's unique for you, unique to your own taste, unique to the things that you find luxurious, and find ways to create these fun little luxurious corners in your home, in your space, in your bedroom, in the kitchen, wherever you want, so that every time you look at it, you feel luxury. I feel luxurious from scents in my home, from lighting candles and having beautiful plants to look at. That's what I find luxurious, on top of having like open, modern decorations in my home. Those things really speak to me and resonate with me, but it's going to be unique to you and what you find to be luxurious, what you find to be opulent and prosperous. You want to create moments like that in your home on whatever budget you currently have. And of course, I love like all those really aesthetic stores like Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel, but I also love going to Home Goods and Home Sense and scavenging through all their home decor and all their design stuff to curate my own little moments at home that feel luxurious to me. So it's not about breaking the bank to create luxury. It's about creating a feeling that speaks to you in your own house. Because remember, it is the woman who makes the house a home. She amplifies, magnifies, and increases the abundance of everything that is in proximity to her. So you are the one who makes your house prosperous and abundant and free-flowing and inviting. You want to create a space and an element of peace and prosperity as soon as you walk in. You want to have a home that feels inviting. So if you don't like the walls of your house, paint them. If you don't like the decor in your house, get rid of it. If you don't like how messy your current closet or your cabinets look, start to declutter it, right? Get rid of things that don't feel good to you. Don't be afraid to reinvent your space. Don't be afraid to reinvent your home. It's your job to create that prosperity and that feeling and good spiritual health inside of your home. So don't be afraid to reinvent it. It doesn't matter how big the house is, how small the house is. None of those things actually matter. What matters is the energy you choose to invite in your home to welcome more prosperity, because everything holds energy. Everything has energetic significance and everything carries a sense of spirituality to it. So if you could visualize your home in its dream state, in its most beautiful state, what would that look like and how would that feel? And how can you take small little steps towards that every couple of weeks to create that sense of abundance in your home, in your living space, because it has a deep impact on your own frequency, on your own energetic baseline. It affects what you attract into your life. So this is really, really important for all my ladies. Let me know what you guys think about these practices and how you have your own traditions, your own cultural practices that invites abundance and prosperity and good fortune. So we are going to collectively get into this habit of inviting more prosperity, more good fortune, more abundance, more cash flow into our lives just through the energy of our environment. Because this really rubs off on our energetic state as a whole. And who we are energetically is what we manifest. So it only makes sense to create and curate a home that feels like abundance, that feels welcoming, that feels open to new energy, so that we can create and harvest these blessings and curate more abundance and more opulence and more prosperity into our daily lives, whether we are business owners, whether we are working in our own careers, whether we are stay-at-home moms, whether we are just fresh out of college, it doesn't matter. We can curate more abundance energetically into our home by upkeeping these amazing spiritual practices that have been passed down to us from all these different beautiful cultures, so that we can learn how to respect and honor our space even more and amplify the value of the space that we live in. And always remember, your words are the most important part. So make sure you are speaking love and abundance over your home, over your space, and using the language of appreciation no matter where you currently live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of your Manifesting Bestie podcast. I hope you learned a lot. I would love to hear your feedback and what type of practices you guys implement. And I will be back again next Wednesday with a brand new episode.